Osiris, the Egyptian god of the afterlife. Osiris, one of the most significant deities in ancient Egyptian mythology, held a central role in the religious and cultural life of ancient Egypt. Revered as the god of the afterlife, the underworld, and the dead, Osiris embodied the concepts of death, resurrection, and eternal life. His myth, which includes elements of murder, betrayal, and eventual triumph, has influenced not only Egyptian culture but also the religious beliefs and practices of subsequent civilizations. This text delves deeply into the complex figure of Osiris, exploring his origins, mythology, symbolism, worship, and enduring legacy. Through a comprehensive examination of ancient texts, archaeological findings, and scholarly interpretations, we aim to provide a detailed and nuanced understanding of Osiris and his role in the ancient Egyptian pantheon. Origins and family. Osiris was the son of Geb, the god of the earth, and Nut, the goddess of the sky. He had 3 siblings: Isis, his sister and wife; Seth, his brother and rival; and Nephthys, his sister. The family dynamics among these deities played a crucial role in the mythological narratives surrounding Osiris. Osiris and Isis were often depicted as the ideal royal couple, embodying harmony and stability. Their marriage represented the union of male and female principles, essential for the creation and sustenance of life. In contrast, the relationship between Osiris and Seth was marked by jealousy and conflict, reflecting the duality of order and chaos. The myth of Osiris. The myth of Osiris is one of the most well-known and elaborated stories in Egyptian mythology. It encompasses themes of life, death, betrayal, and resurrection, making it a profound allegory of the human condition. Reign and betrayal. According to the myth, Osiris was a benevolent ruler who brought civilization, agriculture, and law to Egypt. His reign was characterized by prosperity and peace, earning him the love and respect of his people. However, his brother Seth, driven by envy and ambition, conspired to overthrow him. Seth's betrayal culminated in a cunning plot. He crafted a beautifully decorated chest, secretly made to the exact measurements of Osiris. During a grand banquet, Seth presented the chest as a gift and declared that whoever could fit perfectly inside it would receive it as a prize. Unaware of Seth's intentions, Osiris lay down in the chest. Immediately, Seth and his accomplices sealed it and threw it into the Nile, leaving Osiris to die. Isis's quest and resurrection. The grief-stricken Isis embarked on a quest to find her husband's body. Her journey was fraught with challenges, but with the help of Nephthys, Anubis, and other deities, she eventually discovered the chest containing Osiris's corpse. Isis's devotion and magical abilities were pivotal in the resurrection of Osiris. She reassembled his body and used her powers to revive him. This act of resurrection, however, did not restore Osiris to life on earth. Instead, he became the ruler of the underworld, overseeing the realm of the dead and presiding over the judgment of souls. The birth of Horus. Before Osiris descended to the underworld, he and Isis conceived a son, Horus. The birth of Horus was significant, as he would grow up to avenge his father's death and restore order to Egypt. The struggle between Horus and Seth for the throne of Egypt became another central narrative in Egyptian mythology, symbolizing the perpetual conflict between order and chaos. Symbolism and iconography. Osiris's depiction in Egyptian art and iconography is rich with symbolism, reflecting his multifaceted nature and attributes. Physical appearance. Osiris is typically depicted as a mummified king, emphasizing his association with death and resurrection. He is often shown wearing the Atef crown, which consists of the white crown of Upper Egypt flanked by 2 ostrich feathers. This crown symbolizes his sovereignty and connection to the afterlife. In his hands, Osiris holds the crook and flail, traditional symbols of kingship and authority. The crook represents the shepherd's staff, guiding and protecting the people, while the flail signifies the ruler's power to punish and maintain order. Symbolic animals. Several animals are associated with Osiris, each symbolizing different aspects of his character and domain. The bull, for instance, represents strength, fertility, and renewal. Osiris is sometimes depicted with the head of a bull or accompanied by a bull, emphasizing his role in agricultural fertility and regeneration. The fish, particularly the Nile fish, is another symbol linked to Osiris. It represents the Nile's life-giving properties and the god's association with rebirth and sustenance. Vegetation and the Nile. Osiris is also closely connected to vegetation and the Nile River. He is often referred to as the green god, or depicted with green skin, symbolizing vegetation, fertility, and the cycle of growth and decay. The annual flooding of the Nile, which brought fertile silt to the land, was seen as a manifestation of Osiris's power to renew and sustain life. The Djed pillar, a symbol representing stability and endurance, is another important icon associated with Osiris. It is often depicted in funerary contexts, symbolizing the deceased hope for stability and eternal life in the afterlife. Worship and cult of Osiris. The worship of Osiris was widespread and deeply ingrained in Egyptian religious practices. His cult centers were numerous, with Abydos being one of the most significant. The annual festival of Osiris at Abydos attracted pilgrims from all over Egypt, who participated in rituals reenacting his death and resurrection. Temples and pilgrimages. Abydos, considered the burial place of Osiris, became a major religious center. The Temple of Osiris at Abydos was the focal point of his worship, where elaborate rituals and ceremonies were conducted. Pilgrims visited Abydos to pay homage to Osiris, seeking blessings and a favorable judgment in the afterlife. Other notable cult centers included Busiris and Fulai, where temples dedicated to Osiris and Isis facilitated the veneration of these deities. The widespread nature of his worship reflects Osiris's importance in both state and popular religion. Funerary practices. Osiris's role as the god of the afterlife profoundly influenced Egyptian funerary practices. The deceased were often depicted as Osiris, signifying their hope for resurrection and eternal life. Mummification, a central aspect of Egyptian burial practices, was closely linked to the myth of Osiris's resurrection. The process of preserving the body was believed to ensure the deceased's safe passage to the afterlife and their identification with Osiris. The Osiris bed, a funerary object shaped like the god and filled with fertile soil and seeds, was placed in tombs to symbolize the promise of rebirth. This practice underscores the belief in the cyclical nature of life, death, and renewal embodied by Osiris. Festivals and rituals. The festivals of Osiris were grand and elaborate, marked by public processions, theatrical performances, and religious ceremonies. The most important festival, the Passion of Osiris, reenacted the god's death, dismemberment, and resurrection. This festival not only celebrated Osiris's victory over death, but also reinforced the themes of renewal and continuity essential to Egyptian society. During these festivals, participants engaged in rituals that mirrored the mythological events, such as mourning Osiris's death, searching for his body, and celebrating his resurrection. These communal activities fostered a sense of collective identity and reinforced the religious and cultural values associated with Osiris. Theological significance. Osiris's theological significance extends beyond his role as the god of the afterlife. His myth and symbolism encapsulate fundamental aspects of Egyptian cosmology, morality, and kingship. The cycle of life and death. Osiris embodies the concept of the cyclical nature of life, death, and rebirth. His death and resurrection mirror the natural cycles observed in agriculture, such as the annual flooding of the Nile and the growth and decay of crops. This cyclical understanding of existence permeated Egyptian thought and influenced their views on the afterlife and immortality. Justice and the afterlife. As the ruler of the underworld, Osiris presided over the judgment of souls. The weighing of the heart ceremony, depicted in the Book of the Dead, involved the deceased's heart being weighed against the feather of Ma'at, the goddess of truth and justice. This process determined the soul's fate in the afterlife, with Osiris overseeing the judgment. His role in this ceremony underscores his association with justice, morality, and the maintenance of cosmic order. Kingship and divine authority. Osiris's kingship and his role as a judge in the afterlife had significant implications for the concept of kingship in ancient Egypt. The pharaoh was seen as the earthly embodiment of Horus, the son of Osiris, and upon death, the pharaoh became associated with Osiris. This identification reinforced the divine legitimacy of the pharaoh's rule and the continuity of kingship. Osiris in art and literature. Osiris's influence extended into Egyptian art and literature, where his image and myth were frequently depicted and referenced. Artistic representations. Osiris appears in various forms of Egyptian art, from temple reliefs to tomb paintings and statues. These depictions often emphasize his role as a mummified king, adorned with the Atef crown, crook, and flail. His green skin or association with the color green in art symbolizes fertility and resurrection. Scenes from the Osiris myth, such as his resurrection by Isis or the Judgment of Souls, are common in funerary art. These visual representations served both religious and didactic purposes, illustrating key aspects of the mythology and reinforcing the beliefs associated with Osiris. Literary texts. Osiris's myth and attributes are extensively documented in ancient Egyptian texts. The pyramid texts, coffin texts, and the Book of the Dead contain numerous references to Osiris, his myth, and the rituals associated with him. These texts provided guidance for the deceased, invoking Osiris's protection and ensuring a favorable outcome in the afterlife. The story of Osiris's death and resurrection also inspired various hymns, prayers, and spells, highlighting his central role in Egyptian religious literature. These texts not only preserve the mythological narrative, but also facilitated the worship and veneration of Osiris across generations. Influence on subsequent cultures. The legacy of Osiris extended beyond ancient Egypt, influencing other cultures and religions. Greco-Roman period. During the Greco-Roman period, Osiris's cult continued to thrive, with his worship spreading beyond Egypt. The fusion of Greek and Egyptian religious practices led to the development of the cult of Serapis, a syncretic deity combining aspects of Osiris and the Greek god Zeus. The worship of Serapis became popular throughout the Hellenistic world, demonstrating the adaptability and enduring appeal of Osiris's myth. Early Christianity. The themes of death, resurrection, and eternal life associated with Osiris have been noted for their similarities to early Christian beliefs. While direct influence is a matter of scholarly debate, the conceptual parallels suggest that the myth of Osiris may have contributed to the religious milieu in which Christianity emerged. Modern interpretations. In modern times, Osiris continues to capture the imagination of scholars, artists, and writers. His story has been reinterpreted in various forms, from academic studies to literature and popular culture. The enduring fascination with Osiris reflects his profound impact on human thought and his timeless relevance as a symbol of life, death, and rebirth. Conclusion. Osiris, as the god of the afterlife, the underworld, and the dead, occupies a central and enduring place in Egyptian mythology and religion. His myth encapsulates fundamental themes of life, death, resurrection, and justice, resonating with the human experience across time and cultures. Through his symbolism, worship, and theological significance, Osiris not only shaped ancient Egyptian beliefs, but also left an indelible mark on the broader history of religion. The comprehensive exploration of Osiris presented in this text highlights his multifaceted nature and the profound influence he wielded over ancient Egyptian society. From his origins and mythological narratives to his depiction in art and literature, Osiris's legacy continues to inspire and captivate, reminding us of the timeless quest for understanding the mysteries of existence and the afterlife.